Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sandra. If you're new here, hey, I'm the owner of Turquoise Designs, and today is going to be just a chit chat video, catch up. There won't be any art or anything in this one, I'm sorry, but I have plenty on my channel if you want to watch just what I'm drawing or painting or hand lettering. But for today I really need to get all of this off my chest and feel like I am starting fresh. It's 2024 and everyone loves to say this new year, new me thing. Still me, nothing new here, just still working on my quirks and working on my shortcomings and things like that. I'm still very much imperfect. I would love to just catch you up on what's been going on, kind of like how my 2023 went. Most of you probably know, because if you're following me on Instagram, you have a very accurate or very close to accurate account of how my year went. I do recaps a lot. I did a recap again at the end of the year, kind of like showing all the months. It was a difficult year, it was a tough year, but it also had some really good, really beautiful moments and lots of positive changes. Though the hurt is still there and the grieving is still going, there's also a lot of beauty that came through the year. So I don't want to discount all of it, and I don't want to make this video sad at all. So I've written and jotted down a bunch of things in front of me to try to make this concise, and I feel like it's still jumbled, so I'm gonna just try to speak from the heart, but I'll try to keep it in order. So I'm gonna start with doing a quick recap of 2023, and then I'll talk to you about what I would like to get done in 2024. But before I recap, let me just tell you a little catch up of how I'm doing. Maybe that's important. So I'm actually doing well. I started work, like I said. I've now got an office job where I work Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 4:30. So it only leaves me a little bit of time during my lunch break and my 2 breaks. So that's the time that I'm using to kind of do a little bit of small business. For the most part right now it's a slow season, which really helps because it's giving me a chance to get used to going back to the office again, getting used to working again. I didn't work for another person for 6 years. How long has it been? I was pregnant with my 3rd when I was let go of my previous job, and he's 5 now, so definitely more than 5 because there's also that whole pregnancy year. So 6 years I haven't worked for somebody else, and I've had to just get used to that again and remember clocking in, clocking out, letting people know where I am, what I'm doing. That's been an adjustment, but it's going really well. And I don't want to hash too much about this because I think I talked about it in one of my previous videos, and if I find it I'll link it for you. Where I work, I help to kind of schedule things, get people where they need to go. So currently I do all my work remotely and only go in the office on Tuesdays, so I just go once a week. And because we're in a slow season, it's gonna go on for like 4 or 5 months. Then we'll be in the office every single day. I will have 0 remote hours. I might even have to come in some Saturdays, so my schedule is going to be very different and pretty much insane. So I'm just gearing myself up for that. I'm trying to get my business to a place where it doesn't require me to be on so often and like hands-on all the time. I want to find better ways to, and I'll talk about that later on for my 2024 section of the video, but I really want to come up with smarter ways to get maybe even my products packaged so that if I have orders, it's very easy to just grab and go, not have to make everything myself, not have to, you know, do a bunch of launches, because at that time I feel like it'll be basically from April until close to November, it'll be mayhem, and I've never experienced that yet, so I can't even say exactly how it will be. I don't know if I'll have Saturdays. Some Saturdays I know I've been told I'll be working like in the office, but they said that's like a 6-week span, so the rest of the time it's Monday through Friday still, but it's still very busy. So potentially I can still come live on Saturdays, do my painting like I'd like to, or most of the things will end up being Sunday afternoons, like after church. But again, no promises because I have no idea how it'll go. So we'll find out together. But the family's good, the kids are good. We had a really tough personal year for my family. It's been really difficult. We had a big loss in our family in March. lots of illnesses, lots of big scares, and it was very challenging, just mentally, spiritually, physically draining. But thankfully we made it through the year. We still, you know, we're still grieving, most of us. I know for sure I am, because grief is the way it is. You just, sometimes it hits you at what seemed like the most random times. But what I've learned is to not let it, like, to try not to bottle it up. And if it feels like I need the time away, I just take the time away. So if you have noticed me disappearing a lot throughout the year, this was why. I know I don't have to explain, but I also know that it's hard for me sometimes to talk about these kinds of things and worry about people judging where I've been and what I've done. And I know I would tell you, if I were hearing someone say what I'm saying, and I would absolutely tell her, take the time that you need. It's not anybody's business how long grief takes you to go through. Like, it doesn't ever go away, to be honest. I lost one of my best friends back in 2011, and till this day it sometimes hits me. And she was from New York, so as much as I love New York, going there is hard. It was really hard. But we don't want this video to be sad, so I just want to say it happens. If you've been through something like this, or if you're currently going through something like that, I'm very sorry. If you've had a loss in your family as well, the holidays probably are the hardest thing to go through when you've had a loss in your family, especially somebody who enjoyed the holidays, because my brother-in-law really did. He made us laugh so much at Christmas, so it was hard not to see him in pictures this year, for sure. And I know how hard it must have been for my sister and my nieces and nephews. So it's part of life. It's really hard. We have to keep going. Just do it. Just do the things that you know you need to be doing. Anyway, sorry, I went on a massive tangent there, but I'm sure you understand. Sorry, I have something in my eye. I literally have like an eyelash in my eye again. This is welcome to Sandra world. There's always eyelashes and hair everywhere. That's a mess. So other than that, the year was filled with big surprises as well. I know you already know this if you follow me anywhere else. You have heard this, but I got to meet a sweet friend in January, Emily Harvey Arts, who is getting married in New York. And my bestie from Boston and I went there and met up with them, and we were able to kind of take photos and videos for them. I was the witness to their wedding, so I signed the papers, which is awesome. And they're literally stuck with me now. They cannot get rid of me, so just call me Auntie Sandra going forward. And anyway, it was a really sweet time, and we had like 2 or 3 days in New York, just the best of times. And the rest of the year I had on and off clients. As you can imagine, our family loss happened in March. I don't know if I said that already, but my brother-in-law passed away in March. So basically from March to about August, I really wasn't doing much. I wasn't really working a lot. I was kind of sporadic online. I was there, but then I wasn't. It was really hard to be consistent with anything. So that whole time was really, I wouldn't count it as a break. I really didn't really do much business work related things, except projects that I already had signed on for. There was a project that I signed up for maybe 2 or 3 weeks before anything happened. So I explained to them what had happened and that I needed a little bit of time off. But some of the clients were very understanding and were like, you know, just, I'm so sorry, take your time. Like, when you're ready, come back, we'll work it out, it's fine. And then other clients were literally pressuring me to give them stuff. And it was just really hard. So part of my changes that I'm making in 2024 have to do with that. And I'll go into that in a sec, because I feel like I've already been talking a lot. I'm looking at the clock. But as a general catch up, I changed my business around. I rebranded, I updated my colors, like my brand colors. Turquoise is still around. I mean, turquoise is never gonna go away, okay? Let's just accept the turquoise queen. But I've just sought for ways to make it feel more nostalgic and to make it feel, I don't know, I had a vision in my mind of how I wanted it to look, and I think these colors kind of work a little bit better. They're still not where I really want to be, but I didn't want to just wait until it was perfect. I wanted to already start to change, because I can just keep changing and updating it as I go, so I'm not really concerned about that. So that was another really big thing that happened. And then this whole redirection of the business that is now all about memory keeping and nostalgic paintings and you know, travel paintings. I mean, it was very obvious that I should have been doing that already, because I was always painting things from like different places. Do you remember when I used to paint those castles? Like, if you're on Instagram, you know, I used to do these live paintings, and then I'll just pick like a castle in Europe somewhere, and I will do like a live painting about it and hang out and talk and catch up with people. Last year or 2 years ago, when I went to San Diego with my friend from Boston, the same friend who came to New York with me, I, you know, took a picture of like La Jolla Beach at one point, like just a view walking back down towards the beach. And I remember thinking, oh, I want to capture this feeling, like I want to bottle it up. And so it just makes sense that that's what I'm doing now. I'm literally painting memories of different things and different places and different times. But if this is your first video of me that you're watching, then, and you're learning all this for the first time, this all happened in August. I figured this all out, I put the dots together, and I realized I've been doing this already. I need to make this make sense. And so now this is what I do. I paint memories of whatever things. I pick a topic. So the first one was memories of Boston in September. Then I did memories of movie nights in October. Then I did memories of Japan in November. And for December, I did memories of snow days. I just did a few paintings that remind you of that thing, whatever that topic or that place is. And what I want is, when you look at it, for it to feel like a door, like a little portal that takes you to the place or the time, and maybe makes you feel like a kid again, makes you smile, makes you giggle, reminds you of something really fun that had happened around that time, or maybe you had that outfit, or maybe you had, you know, whatever, I don't know. Well, I'm gonna announce this soon, but the next one for February is going to be memories of the 90s, and I'm super pumped to come up with all the things. I'm very excited. If you have any ideas and if you like that, just leave it in the comments. Let me know if there's something specific that you think would be really fun to paint, and I'll attempt it or add it to the list. But anyway, that was a really long catch-up recap. We're gonna call that a catch-up recap because the only other thing from the recap of last year, it would have been things that I had wanted to do, because I watched my other video back from last year, and the three main things that I wanted to do was, one, I wanted to be more consistent, like kind of on social media in general. Obviously I was not consistent on YouTube, you already know this, but I'm trying it again. Every year I'm gonna keep trying until I really get it, and then if this video comes out on time, it'll be 3 videos in January, I think. So I think I'm slowly coming back. The other thing, I'm just gonna look down at my paper. The other thing was, I wanted to draw more, and at the start of the year I didn't much, but by the end of the year, when I kind of came back and started this new direction, I did a ton of painting. I did a ton of painting. Each month I did 5 to 6 paintings. I also taught calligraphy all year long, so I definitely had plenty of time to be creative and share things. But as far as illustrations, I did paint quite a bit between August and December. Like now I'm still painting, which is really fun. So I'm glad to say that that did succeed. The only other thing was, I wanted to publish something, and I know I'd hinted at it in that last video, and I definitely told my patrons, but I have no idea if I ever mentioned this here on YouTube. But what I'm doing is writing a children's book, which I want to illustrate myself. And so last year I started the drafts. It's 11 chapters total. It's a children's book, so it's not very long. It's only like a couple of pages per chapter. And I finished writing the first draft completely in like October or November. So I let it sit throughout the month of December, but then I was out of town and came back the first week of January. So when I'm finished catching up on like my straggling leftover work, I'm going back through the book, and this year the plan is do the second draft. If it needs a third, I'll do a third. Hopefully finish that. That's in the plans. So that this video is not a massive video, I'm gonna tell you a little bit what my plans are for 2024. So it is kind of a goal, but really what I like to say is things that I'm working toward, because that way, even if I don't reach it, I don't feel bad, because I did work toward it. And that's my plan, is to just keep tracking forward and working on things and not giving up on things if I don't reach a certain level that I've placed for myself, or whatever that might be. So the main thing, the really big main thing, is I want to streamline the business. Because like I said, with work, it's going to be sort of 6 months on, 6 months off. Not really off, but like 6 months will be really light schedule and 6 months of really heavy schedule. I don't want to feel overwhelmed during the time that my work is going to be a lot. So I need to figure out a way to do that, and I'll just keep checking back in, I guess. Maybe in 3 months. Maybe in 3 months I'll do another chat video and say, this is what I figured out, and this isn't working, and this is working. I really hope I don't completely disappear off YouTube, which is part of the business as well. So I've made a list of video ideas that I want to create for this channel, and I've given myself way more than I need. I think I gave myself like 1 a week, so 52 some odd ideas, and I've gone through about 5 or 6 of them, and I've really thought out what video this can be, which I think will help me massively, because some of them are seasonal and some of them are not. So the ones that are not seasonal, or the ones that can be evergreen, I can film them whenever. So I can just take a day when I have plenty of time, maybe like on the day off, or maybe on the day when the kids are at school and like I have very light work to do, or late at night when everyone's asleep, and just record what I need to record. A lot of it's gonna be time lapses or drawings or paintings, which I can do voiceover on top of. So as long as I've recorded those things, edited them, I can just save them and like have videos at the ready, so that when my schedule becomes really crazy, I can still schedule videos, so you still have content, and maybe leave myself room to do like one like this, which is a quick just sit down 10 minutes of catch up and say how life is, what's going on, I'm still alive. But you know, I'm trying to think of ways to make that part of my process, so that I don't fully disappear, because I think the hardest part when I disappear is the coming back, because I just get in my head and I think about it way too much, and then I just don't do it. So that's one of the plans. The other thing I would love to do is to add commissions for the time of the year that is like right now, when it's a little bit slower. I would love to do more personalized types of commissions. I have an idea in mind, but it's part of a secret project. So whenever I'm able to talk about it, I will go way into detail about, you know, how that came about, why it came about. I can't even say I can't even say what I really wanted to say, because it'll give away something, and just in case, I don't want to reveal anything until I have to. So it'll come, I'm not sure when, but it's gonna be one of the February videos, and that's the part. Those are the things. I want to be consistent, so I need to plan that out. I want my business to be sort of more a little bit hands-off, so I'm thinking of kind of getting rid of web designs and logo designs and stuff, and maybe just taking 1 a month or 1 or 2 a month, because I don't want to be overwhelmed. And since my time for Camonia Designs is already going to be limited, I think it makes sense to not do as many of those things. Like, I think I can take them on when time is a little bit slower. So usually January and February I get a ton of requests, and I feel like it's kind of like the gym. Everyone's like, I want to go back, I want to get my year started right, I want to start a business, I want to do this, I need a logo, I need a website, I need this. And they come to me with these things, but sometimes they're not even ready, and so it takes a really long time to set up and get ready, and then for them to get their money right. So all of that takes a bunch of time, and if it drags and doesn't happen quickly, then before you know it, it's February, and before you know it, it's March. And once we hit March, my schedule at work is changing, so I don't want to start anything later than like February 10th, I think, because if it takes a month, then it's like whoop, work's gonna get crazy, can't do it. But that's it. And then the only other really big thing that's happening, and then I'll close with that, is I'm going to eHearts. I'm going to eHearts. I should have started the video with that. I'm going to eHearts. I'm going to eHearts Market. We're doing an in-person, Emily Harvey Art is doing an in-person event for all her patrons. We've known about this for over a year. I've been praying and crying for an opportunity to go and God made a way. That just worked out. My husband will be able to be here for the kids for the one day that they'll be at school, and I'll be over there. It's in March. It's going to be at the end of March. So if you're in my community but you're also in Emily's community and you hadn't heard, I'm going. I get to meet you. I get to give you a huge hug. But I'm super excited to meet everybody else. I have met Emily. I'll be hanging out with her. I think I'll be staying at her place, and then we'll stay at the venue. The venue is at a hotel, so a lot of us are just gonna stay there. But I'll get a chance to hug so many people from the community that I've only just talked to, either on voice notes or video chat or Zoom calls. Hundreds of hours of chatting on Instagram or being on live streams together, and I've become friends with a lot of them, and it's just surreal that we've known each other basically since 2020. Most of us have known each other since like summer of 2020. And it'll be almost 4 years of just being cyber friends, so to speak, that we get to actually meet in person. So I'm really excited to go. I'm looking forward to meeting everyone, and it'll be kind of like a small biz thing also. Like there'll be like a meeting room and maybe some talking here and there, not like anything crazy, but mostly we'll be eating and laughing and talking and crying and exchanging hugs and probably buying from each other whatever if people bring things. Yeah, my battery died again. It's time to go. I don't know if anybody's bringing things, but I will be, I'll just be really pumped to hang out with people in real life, in person, in 3D. It'll just be weird, but it'll be magical. So that's kind of my catch up for you. Right now, I am deep in the middle of this secret project, so whenever I'm able to talk about it, you'll know. I've made the first 3 paintings. I have 3 more to go, 3 or 4, 3 more to go. Some I'm gonna do live on Instagram, some I'm gonna do secretly on Patreon, but still live stream. I might have to do one on YouTube so I can share the link to patrons only. And once the project's released, I can like remove it from unlisted and make it public, and that way, but I'll probably do a message to let you know there's a video that's an older video, but it's public now so you can see it. So I'm gonna see how things go throughout the year. I'm not gonna stress myself out or pressure myself in any way, because I have no idea what's coming ahead. If there's one thing last year taught me, is that just cherish every moment that you get. I think that's also helped in the way that I've directed my business to memories, because I feel like even if I don't have anything, like my memories will carry me. That's the one thing in the world I am the most afraid to not have, is memories of things. Like remembering is pretty much my fuel for everything. Remembering the good and the bad. Remember when you messed up and this happened? Don't do that again. So it works both ways. But sorry I was mad chatty today. I hope that's okay. I hope you don't mind just hanging out with me, and hopefully you could just play it like a podcast and do your work in the meantime. But I'm just gonna say bye. I'll see you in my next video, which will be an art video, and it should be the videos of me making the memories of snow days. I painted all 4, I think, on camera. If not, I definitely painted 2 of them on camera. So it'll be similar to my previous one, where I kind of showed you a flip through of my zine, of my travel tour zine. But this one I will just be talking through the paintings and the memories of snow days and telling you sort of like a little bit about each one. It won't be a long one because I've looked at the footage and there's not really that much, but I'll try to make it decent. Hopefully I can make it interesting and entertaining at the very least. So thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe if you haven't already. Give it a like, share it with your friends. I want to get monetized. I want to get monetized in 2024. I don't think I can do it in 2024, but I can get close if you help me. So thanks so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.